Welcome to the training wheel. Today we're going to talk about the SoCon disclosure of real estate brokerage relationships. This is one of those really important forms. You know how you know? There's that LLR logo on the left-hand corner. Think those guys are important? They gave you your license. You know what else they have the power to do? They have the power to take it away. So I would take their forms pretty seriously. So this is what happens, and there's a state statute on this, and it requires a licensee that once you have substantive contact with anybody breathing, if you have substantive contact with them, you have to stop the conversation and then go over the SoCon disclosure of brokerage relationships. Well, what is substantive contact? Well, if they're talking to you and you meet them at a party and they go, hey, what's the real estate market doing? And you go, hey, look, right now inventory's down to 2,000, probably lowest inventory in 30 years. And if you're looking in Mount Pleasant, forget it. Get on the waiting list. But downtown's still relatively slow. Is that substantive contact? No, not really. But if that person then goes to tell you, well, the reason why I asked you about the market is because I've just been made partner at my law firm. I got a $200,000 a year raise and I got a $500,000 bonus for that. Is that substantive contact? Yes, it is. Once they've given you information that's personal to them, financial or anything like that, that if they don't hire you, you can kind of use that against them. Let's say they come to your listing. You could tell your seller, hey, I know that guy. He just got a $500,000 bonus and a $200,000 raise. That's personal information. That's substantive contact. You have to take a time out. Say, stop, whoa, I can't talk to you until we go over the SoCon disclosure of real estate brokerage relationships. They start off, they're a customer of the firm, right? They're a customer. Everything starts off as a customer. Now, they can move into a client-based relationship. That would require a written agreement. So if you look through the SoCon disclosure of brokerage relationships, it notifies the consumer that they start off as a customer. The next thing you'll see on that is transaction brokers. There's a logical reason why transaction brokerage is next, because that is still a customer-based relationship. If they want to become a client, they can do it under single agency. It's easy for our firm because at the Boulevard Company, we don't allow dual agency. We don't allow disclosed dual agency. Boy, you want to get into trouble? That's the best way to do it. Dual agency is a really tough type of relationship. Anytime you're going from client-based relationship backward from customer-based relationship, like dual agency, man, it doesn't really work. But we do allow designated agency. Keep in mind, though, under designated agency, that agents on the same team cannot do designated agency. Make sure you're informing the member of the general public of this. Once you go through the different types of relationships, you have them sign this. Keep in mind it's not a contract. So if they're nervous about signing it, you can just say, look, this is just an explanation of the types of relationships, brokerage relationships that I can or our brokerage can have with you. And then once they've gone through that, the buyer or the seller, depending on who you're working with, can sign it. Keep in mind with the SoCon disclosure of real estate brokerage relationships, it's required by law. And so again, it's one of those other forms that are required to make sure you have with your closing documentation. And without it, you're not going to get paid.